Hey, welcome back. This is episode number 13 of the Ask Sri Vishwanath show. In this video, we will speak about chakras, its powers, and how you can awaken your chakras.
You ask questions and I answer them. This is the Ask Sri Vishwanath show.
Alright, so today's video is from, today's question is from Kay Zen, and she asked, what is the fastest and easiest way to awaken our chakras? I've been struggling a little bit with it, so what's the fastest and easiest way to awaken our chakras? Now, this is, the word chakra and the subject of chakra has become very popular over the years, more so, in the United States, in Europe and everywhere, and even in India it's catching up. And the fascinating part of it is Krishna never spoke of chakra in the Bhagavad Gita. Buddha never spoke of it. Jesus Christ never spoke of chakra. So what did they speak of? They spoke of consciousness. So one of the things we should understand, what I want you to know is chakra is an effect. It's not a cause. So okay, the first thing I'd like you to have a different perspective on chakras. I would not want you to waste too much time on even thinking about chakra, because chakra is an effect. It's like saying, I want to make lots of money. It does not make much sense. If you rather focus on, okay, I want to build a very good product, I want to give good service, and then I will acquire all that knowledge and then persevere in all that, money becomes an end result. And obviously the stars have to align itself in your favor. So in this direction, there's one beautiful book, and the book is written by Gopi Krishna, and you can check out in Google Gopi Krishna, and the book is The Evolutionary Energy of Kundalini. And in that book, he talks about Kundalini. I think if you want to know about chakra, the only book you got to read is this book, and then, you would never read any other book. Because in this book, he was a guy, I think, he does not exist now. He had this... that there are basically two, life currents flowing. One is the Ida and one is the Pingala. The Pingala it goes from the right-hand side, and the Ida from the left-hand side. And so, in this case, what happens is the Kundalini rose from the right-hand side. The sun current rose, and it consumed him. He used to eat, tons and tons of food. The food which was eaten by elephant. He used to struggle all night. He couldn't. He couldn't move. He was burning because the Kundalini. Imagine if the heat of the sun is inside of you. What would you do? You would just burn, right? So in his case, for some reason, the Kundalini rose from the right hand side. Usually, it has to rise from the left hand side. So he went to every single sage in India. This was about 50 years back, when there was some very powerful guy. He went to every sage. Not a single person could help him or cure him. Because this is the fact he has written in India, where this subject of Kundalini is so powerful. Not a single person or soul could help him. And this is the fact I want you to know. That Krishna never spoke of Kundalini. Buddha never spoke. Jesus Christ never spoke. And Ramakrishna also never spoke about it. You got to understand that chakra is an effect. It is just something which fascinates you. It's just like the senses. It's like, a movie or something. It fascinates you. But that is not where you will get your Tao. The real Tao is in knowledge, devotion, and work. Knowledge of the consciousness. That's what Bhagavad Gita is all about. Knowledge of the Brahman, knowledge of the consciousness. So I highly encourage you to check out that book. And the most important thing is Ramakrishna beautifully describes this chakra, and he says that it is an effect, and basically Vivekananda says in a poem, who knows which soul and when the mother makes a throne. You see, we never know. Vivekananda says, he who makes the dumb speak, the lame cross a mountain, He will help me. If he cannot, none can. See, Kundalini is an effect where the serpent within, where the snake, it rises. And so Ramakrishna gives a beautiful example where he says it's like the ant sensation of the ant crawling first. The ant is crawling, then there's a fish swimming. I want you to imagine this. There's an ant crawling, fish swimming, okay, a snake wriggling, and then a bird hopping from one branch to another, and then a final leap where the monkey races to the highest chakra. So it gives the various experience of chakra that, where at the lower level it starts the ant crawling, then the fish swimming, then the snake wriggling, then the bird hopping from one branch to another, and then finally the monkey jumping. So the most important thing to understand is the chakras are nothing but awakening of your consciousness. It's like awareness of the conscious. The first step is that as the light descends, let's say the heart, they say the starting point is the heart. They call this the anatha, if I'm not wrong. They call it the anatha. I'm not so good in all these terminologies because all these are effects. It does, it makes sense to someone, but to me, it is realization. So I focus on realization. So the first step is anatha. It's like your awareness is at this point. This is where you develop a curiosity. You see, you develop a curiosity for the consciousness. You develop, what is this? There is this strange power. It's like the ant crawling, the fish swimming. You realize there's something here, some power. And you get the first scent of it, the first scent. That is where it's like the starting point of spirituality. You see, the first scent, the smell. The smell of the first rain, if you will. Like the ant crawling, the fish swimming. And that is curiosity. That happens when your awareness is situated in the heart. Then as you follow your curiosity, the second step is immersion. Complete immersion. That's when your awareness rises at the level of the throat. It's called the Vishuddha. It's complete immersion. So you spend a lot of time knowing about the consciousness. Reading Bhagavad Gita, reading the New Testament. Reading the Dhammapada. You spend more time knowing about the consciousness, and you spend more time in devotion in knowing and realizing your consciousness, and applying that to work. So in work, you become detached. It's like you work, but you withdraw your emotions. So this is like complete immersion. You spend almost 50% of your time in the field of consciousness. And you keep working on this through expanding your knowledge, increasing your devotion, and being detached in work and in all other areas. So this is like complete immersion where, this goes here, and where the awareness rises here. And this could be like the snake wriggling. You see the snake wriggling, or the bird hopping from one branch to another. And then there is this third step of realization. You see, realization is when the awareness, it's like the monkey jumping from this to this spot. It's like realization, Ramakrishna said. And when your awareness reaches here, you see God in every single being. That means you see God, and then you see the nature of the person. You see, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and Vivekananda says this is the most powerful verse of Bhagavad Gita. He who sees, he meaning the God within you, he who sees the Supreme Lord dwelling in all beings alive, the imperishable, the Maya Kuta, in the things that perish, sees indeed. For seeing the Lord as the same present everywhere, it does not destroy the self by the self and goes on to achieve the highest goal. So, what this happens in realization is that means you see the God within you, and he who sees the Supreme Lord dwelling in all being, you see the same God in others. And the nature of a person, which all others think is the real person, you think that as an illusion because it's an appearance, and you focus only on the God. And so you do not destroy God outside with the God inside. So you do not destroy the consciousness by the consciousness, because the same God that is dwelling in you, you see it. Just like I'm seeing you, you see it. So these are the God men, the saints, like the Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Christ, Krishna, Buddha, and you can go on and on, Mahavir Jain, and on you can go, Ramana Maharishi. These are sages. These are the men and women of God who see God. And so what happens when you see God? You see, let's say you see the same God in you and the same God in the other person, and your nature and the other nature, you know it's an illusion. I came up with a wonderful formula that where you is equal to jiva, which is nothing but consciousness, plus the nature of the person. So if wish is equal to jiva, which is consciousness, plus nature of the wish. Okay? And so you are equal to consciousness plus the nature of the consciousness. So what happens is the nature of wish sees the nature of the other person, and so we find the difference. We find duality. But if my consciousness sees your consciousness, there's no duality, and that's what happens in realizing. So I want you to just take a pen and write down you. That means your name is equal to consciousness plus nature plus your nature, and my nature as a wish is equal to consciousness plus nature of wish. So nature of wish sees another person, and so he sees a duality. He says, oh, this nature, this person is good and bad. But the men of God see only the jiva, and they take the nature of the person as an illusion, as an appearance, and they focus more on this realizing. So you see God, literally see as I'm seeing the camera. That's number 3, realization. And the 4th step is where it goes into the Sahasra, they say 1,000, but it's called Samadhi. And that is like very few people who go into this place, they return back, says Ramakrishna. It's only the avatars, so they say, who have got the grace of God to come and descend from here to the lower level of, the realization, and they can teach. So this is called Samadhi. Obviously, this is not an, if we experience Samadhi, I can't be speaking to you in the video camera, and you can't be listening. So this is the highest state. But if this happens, you don't come back. It's only the men and women of God who really come back. So our focus is to be on step 2 and then move to step 3. Because this is the thing which Krishna says. We have to be in step 3, which is realization. We see God in every single being, just after we see the God in us. And this is very important. So step 1 is curiosity. So there are different people. Some people are ignorant. Ignorant is when your level of awareness is below this. There are whatever number of chakras below. That is when your level is ignorant, and you think that the body, mind, and leg, that's the only thing. With experience, with time, you get this first scent, this curiosity, your awareness moves, the serpent rises here. Then it comes to the throat level, it's called immersion, where you are completely immersed through knowledge, love, and devotion. That is what I would like you, Kay, to focus on. Expand your knowledge, increase your devotion, and be detached in work. And the third is realization, where you see God. That should be the focus, to see God in everyone. So to do that, you have to first see God in yourself. And that is very important. That every person, Krishna says, that which is without me, mobile or stationary, exists not, O Arjuna. So Krishna says, that which is without me, mobile or stationary, exists not, O Arjuna. He says, Krishna says, I am there in everyone. So it's like everyone is consciousness plus the nature of the person. You see? And the nature of the person is an illusion, is an appearance. So this step 3 is realization, and I would highly encourage you to focus on this. And the 4th is samadhi. And so as Ramakrishna says, like the ant crawling, the fish swimming, the snake wriggling, the bird hopping from one branch to another. You can visualize this during meditation. It will really, really help you, like ant crawling, fish swimming, bird hopping from one branch, snake wriggling, and then a monkey jumping from other. So when you meditate, you focus on knowledge of consciousness, that you want to see God in everyone. You ask for devotion, you ask for help from God, from Krishna, from Buddha, from Christ, and you be detached at work, and you visualize the kundalini within you rising without any expectations, and that beautiful, with the only thing that you want to realize, God. I hope that answered your question, Kay. You keep asking questions and I keep answering them.